lot of people.
Coach, so coming off of a COVID year, a lot of change in the Eastern Division, teams up down. How hard is it going to be to
I don't really know.
determine who's good, who's not? Changing Indiana's up, teams are, you guys are in the middle there. There's a lot of different looks.
Willing to work with anybody long term. I just don't want
These guys coming off of this short term deal.
somebody
Not playing against fans, it's changed everything. How's that going to change?
I'm kind of, I mean,
I don't really know. I think it's people on the higher
like
ups that-
back to normal, man. I'm treating August 6th like our first
I think that
day of practice
you
as
can have a
it's
good background
it's
and
back to
take
normal.
players to some of these without-
There are no restrictions, and until told otherwise, I'm going to go about it that way.
You can keep the players safe. I'm all for it. For an amateur, yes. Players, maybe not.
You got another question?
I want to be the next to him. It shows the hand of the
Yeah, there's
shows what they're trying to do.
changes were made, probably the most on defense. So hired Sean New as the returning coach, still coaching the defensive line.
I have no idea.
Mike McDonald, defensive coordinator. Steve Klingsdale, coaching our corners. Plus, he's our defensive pass game coordinator. Ron Bellamy, coaching the safeties, and George Hilo, coaching linebackers. And there's some really good, great analysts. Doug Mallory doing a heck of a job. I just sit in these meetings with our defense, and the things that are, have developed. There's a great communication with the staff, a trust, and the way they are free to give ideas and bounce it off each other. Mike's really good. He's really smart, and I'd say that about the staff, but how they've come together in a short period of time, with the advantage of having spring ball, with the summer cycle, watching our guys work on that side of the ball has been really impressive. Good, it's better than I'd hoped for. Yeah, just, I mean, how do you tell? I mean, it's like, people know what they're talking about. I mean, you listen to them. It's probably the number one thing you do as a player. I mean, if somebody knows what they're talking about, I mean, you want to listen to what they have to say. So you got tremendous DB acumen, and really good teaching. Really good teaching guys. He's got kids that same age. I think it's a real advantage. He's got great kids, and we'll watch him as a dad. I mean, he's a great dad. He's a great teacher. He's a great coach. They're all pretty synonymous.
Center and left guard seem to be in spring.
You're going to take players out of my hand. I want to be sure that you're going to.
Yeah.
They've been showing me all summer.
If you said, okay, Ryan Hayes is starting, Stuber starting, Zach Zinter starting, those three are solid. And so left guard would be the position that's going to be, there's competition for. Trevor Keegan came out of spring ball as a starter at left guard. Chuck Villiaga has had the best offseason of any of the offensive linemen. From this is me looking at the data and what they've done. So he is. There's going to be a real competition there. Center. Bastardas has had a great summer cycle. Zinter could play center as well, and he did, and he has, and he will continue to. Determining what our best five is. If it's Zinter there at center, then you're gonna see right tackle. Most likely would be the position where Stuber would move to guard. and then right tackle could be Trente
Yeah, so
Jones, could be Carson Barnhart. Those guys are the closest, but it's getting honed down to the best 5. That's where we're going with it, and that so competitions will continue when we start on August 6th.
Do you foresee opening the program up a little bit more? You guys obviously
Tanner Morgan has, he's dedicated his whole summer to getting better and you even ask him here to himself.
So yeah, it's a positive thing, right? I mean, NIL is, I think it's designed for that. It's designed to be a positive thing, and I think it's going to be. I mean, so much stuff. Was thrown at these guys, college and gals, college students last year. So many things swirling, and high school students, and grade school kids. And we all went through it and said, okay, good thing is they're young, they're resilient. They'll bounce back. I think they have bounced back, but it was also pretty darn tough too. And now this NIL is coming along, and it's NIL is coming along. That's a real positive thing. So good consequences for doing good. Really good rewards for being a good football player, or a good athlete, a good student, a good person. Those things. Those young men, young women putting their best foot forward, and having a chance to have good consequences come, I think it's a really good thing. But opening things up, and we did have a spring game. We just weren't allowed to have 80,000 fans for it, but yeah, it's just
knowing Ohio State, they
yeah, it's a good point. And yeah, I'm for it. I want our guys to be in a position to have, to have all those tremendous opportunities. We're doing those things. Sydney Sims, I think, is doing a really good thing. I mean, maybe call me old or whatever, but she's young. She's she knows the ways of TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and Instagram. Did I say that one? So yeah, I mean, there's those opportunities. If you're talking about those, then yeah, there's no question. Social media is a big deal. So yeah, guys, still when you boil it all down, like, no matter how much you talk about somebody's brand or getting it out there or whatever, it's still your tape is still your brand as a football player. So still go get good, really good at football. Your grades are your brand as a student. So get really good grades. How you treat people with respect and how you conduct yourself with integrity, therefore to be respected, that is still your brand as a person. So, in some ways, some of the old things still, the soul of the old things, really still stand true. You're a college athlete. Go, get the best grades, win the most awards, excel at sports. There'll be really good consequences for those. Yeah. So Cade McNamara, had a heck of a spring, and emerged from spring ball as the starting quarterback. That's how they're listed going into training camp, and he
you have to understand that.
making the other players better. Quarterback's number one job, make everybody else around you even better. Cade's doing a a fabulous job of that. Also, he's really just taking the leadership reins. So accountable of what he does by leading by example, pulling other guys along. JJ has those same exact traits, and really athletic and really good. We saw him in spring ball. Just does not look like Cade's going to let that go. And it's not going to go without a huge fight. It's like watching the biblical iron sharpening iron. That's what it looks like to me watching it. And I think that's really good. It's really good for JJ. It's really good for our team. It's really good for Cade. And I think that's going to continue.
Fred.
Good.
I'm not really worried about the spotlight or nothing like that. I'm more worried about just developing as a team and becoming better each and every day. I'm not worried about the results. I'm not worried about no spotlight.
Like everything, it's something that
Just getting better
that you were used to, and you miss it. Sometimes when as a player, when you get hurt and you can't play, and it just makes you want to play that much more. You can't wait to get back out there. Something taken away that you really appreciated and enjoyed. Now to have that opportunity again, very similar. There's something about running out of the tunnel at any stadium, but the big house, maybe I'm just partial that way. But you come out of there and you touch that banner, and then you feel the roar. You feel it. It's a physical. It must be the sound waves or something, but it's hitting you and reverberating, and it's it's there, and the adrenaline is going that way. And next thing you got to look. You got to look at the crowd and see it, and because you're hearing it, and you see and you know that's not pumped in music. That's not like it's al natural. This is happening because there's 110, 115,000 people here, and then the visual of the colors. That's all. There's no laser. This isn't a laser show. It's al natural. It's just something. It's a big stage. It's a spectacle. It's something you appreciate each and every time that you go through it. So yeah, it's just awesome. Let's have it back.
All the attention on Michigan football, how much pressure do you feel given this
Yeah, all of it. It's what I was talking about earlier when I was on the podium. You just for better or worse, whether it's a blessing or a curse, you have that gene in you that you got to do your best. You got to give your best at all times, and eventually you got to be the best. And yeah, we're capable of that. And there's some other guys too. There's other coaches, and that have that blessing or curse as well. And I'm seeing them on our staff, and they're it's guys that have to get that done. And then players starts with three of the guys that are here today. Aiden and Josh Ross. Josh, he's been with us going into his 5th year. His brother played here. His brother coached here. How important it is to him, to do his best and get to the top. Hassan has that. Gene, Cade's got it. There's other guys too. There's Hayes and Zinter and Corum and CJ and Ronnie Bell. A group of outside linebackers, I see it in them. Just what they've done over the summer. They walked in here. You would say, man, they're big. These guys are big. You see Aiden Ajabo has had a heck of an off season, and Taylor Upshaw and Mike Morris and Gabe Newberg, Mike Barrett, Brad Hawkins is somebody you should really, he's got that going into another year for Brad in his 5th year. It's just there's a lot of guys, you feel it. And I've heard other guys talk about energy and what it's been like, this off season. I noticed it after the first day of spring ball. And whether it was, maybe it was that they hadn't had football. They didn't have spring practice the year before. Maybe there's the pressure or whatever you say. Maybe they want to get to the top. Maybe they got that deep desire, to be the best. All those things maybe, but when that practice was over and I was standing there in front of the team, I go, you guys noticed that, right? I mean, that was different. That felt different. That was awesome, right? I mean, that energy, you did, right? And they were like, yeah, we did. This. Okay, let's bottle that. Let's put that in the copier machine and come back to, 2 days from now when our next practice is, and let's do it again. And then we had 15 of those type of practices, and that continued into the off season, into the summer cycle. Now, off season, it's half the battle. I realize that. Winning the off season is half the battle, but I think we've done that. Next, you take your best, healthiest team you can to training camp, starting August 6th, and then you have at it. See how good you can get, and go about winning, the last half of the battle.
Austin, Jim, can you describe the setting a little bit of your mountain climbing trip? Do you remember where you were? Do you remember what the view was like when you got to the top?
So we were we had gone out to California. We owned a home there. The people were great family was renting, and they rented it for 5 years, but now they're moving to Florida. So we're gonna go sell this house. So we were out there. It was kind of a working / but vacation. We went down to. We were just outside of Carmel Ranch there, and there's. I don't know how big of a mountain it was, but it was, right outside of our hotel room. So me, Sarah, and Addie were gonna go. Let's go climb this. Let's go to the top. And so we were walking, and Sarah or Addie had it on their phone how many steps it was. So we were up there. I mean, it was like 15,000 steps, I think. But you notice when you get to the top, it never stops. I mean, you think you're at the top, but you're never quite at the top. And Sarah had said, hey, it's kind of out of water here, and maybe we should go back down. And Addie, you want to? I was like, Addie, you want to go back down? No, Dad, I want to get to the top. We got an apex. Yes. So cool stuff you see in your kids. That you're glad it's there. I was glad it's there.
Saw you in these matches a couple times recruiting Andrew in high school games. How soon can you be an impact there?
Yeah, it's a great question. Coach Bill did a great job. I'm going to start there. I mean, that's one of my favorite coaches. Did a tremendous job coaching Andrell. I love Andrell. I could get my phone out here and show you the pictures. So must have been 2015. Picture of me and little Andrell. Coaching and young camper. 5th grade, 6th grade, and then. A couple of years later, now he's a freshman. We take another picture at the camp, and then picture his junior year, and then picture the first day he got here. So it's stuff. But I won't put too much pressure on him. But I think he's gonna be really good. Yes.
Fred, you're cut off for a little while. Tom Crawford on the left.
Yeah, Andrell's number 1. Yeah.
Jim, can you talk about the running back situation and how much Donovan could be part of that rotation? Talk to Hassan
And
about
then, he went there, and I was very excited for him.
How does that rotation look?
And,
At running back, and Donovan, yeah, Donovan's going to be really good. He's got that. There's such a competitive part about him, and the thing Donovan understands is that it takes the whole team. You know, it takes the whole team to win a championship. Nobody's winning any championships unless it's the team. You know, he speaks that team language. As good as anybody I've been around. He's like a blessing that way. And he won a championship, won one at West Bloom. So he knows, and so he's gonna be in the mix. You'll be seeing Donovan Edwards game 1. Hassan and Blake, they're kind of like running back 1 and 1. And so as we sit here today, those 3 are up there high to where it'd be a 3-back, type of rotation, leaning on Hassan and Blake the most, and then Donovan.
he's amazing.
But Donovan's got the ability to really hit the big ones. So does Blake and Hassan, but Donovan is going to be got a vision of it being extremely good.
Chris?
That's come about good. He's progressing really well. Been impressing the other players in the summer cycle. Got a big catch radius. Got a chance to actually work him out, and it was really good. He's how'd it come about? I mean, there's a kid from Michigan who a bit of a late bloomer, and but had a really good spring season, and noticed him in the transfer portal, and then liked what we saw, contacted him, and then he had some good options and chose Michigan. So it's going to be a real good addition to our receiving room.
On the left, Isaiah.
Keeping the transfer topic, what did you see out of Jordan Whitley that made you decide to bring him over? What's your
You just felt it'd be good to get. We're really good on defense. We got a lot of really talented players. Maybe a little more undersized in the middle. And he's a big guy. I mean, that's a big man. So as we're going to be a multiple front defense, and there'll be times we'll be odd, there'll be times that we'll be under, there'll be times that we'll be over. So the times you're odd, you're like big guy right over the center that can two gap. So we're hopeful now. Even since then, guys like Mozzie Smith has really asserted himself, through spring ball and this summer cycle. Mozzie looks good, as I said, these guys would walk in and you'd say, man, they're big. Chris Hinton, Jess Spate, there's some good guys. I mean, even Julius, but Julius Welskoff, he come through here today, 293, 295, and really running still as good as he ran when he was 240 and 245. He's going to be more of an end. But anyway, that was the thinking. Yeah. See if Jordan could help us in the middle there.
Right in the middle here.
Another addition made this offseason, bringing in Mike Hart, obviously running backs coach, got a lot of experience in Michigan. But what did you see from him specifically in the Indiana offense that made you think he would be a good fit for your team?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mike record-setting back at Michigan, and following his coaching career from Western Michigan to Indiana, and just felt like he was doing doing a really good job. And